All right, what is it? Are we chipping with the wedge or should we take a putter? This video, we're gonna go over the key things you must know before you decide which one of these bad boys you're gonna use around the green, because there's a huge difference in a lot of things and we wanna maximize what we got and minimize our mistakes. Let's do it. Okay, the number one factor that's going to determine whether you decide to chip or to putt is going to be your lie. That's the number one thing. Here we're both similar distances from the hole. This one's in the front fringe, okay? Although I can chip this and I prefer personally to chip it, I can get a lot of putter on the back of the ball. So lie would dictate, hey, the safe route is putter. This lie is a little more in the rough, the first cut or so. So I'm not going to get a clean putter on that ball. So chipping, you're just gonna go with what you're most comfortable with. And for me, that's the 60 degree. And because I can't get clean putter on the back of the ball, we go with the wedge here. Again, you could see some of the challenges. And now here I have a clean lie. So there's nothing saying, hey, don't take putter. This is the safest choice here to get it close. So you're gonna have an easy par there. Here, if you chipped it a little better, you'd have an easy par. But bogey. In that scenario, chipping was a little more risky than putting just because I couldn't get as much of the club on the back of the ball as I would have liked. So anytime you can get your putter on that ball cleanly, then I would say first choice, go with putter. All right, the next biggest factor that I like to determine whether or not I'm chipping or putting, let's say I have a lie that can go either way, all right, and have a shot that can do either of the two, doesn't really matter. The biggest factor at this point is going to be whether or not I want to try to make it or not. Am I just trying to get a par? If so, or whatever, you're just trying to get it up and down, then I would go with putter every time. If I'm just trying to get it up and down, okay? That's going to be my shot 9 times out of 10. 2 feet away, no problem, easy par. But if I'm trying to hole out the shot, then I want to give myself the best possible opportunity. And in order to do that, I need to eliminate this unpredictable terrain here. Okay, there's clumps and bumps, and there's a ridge between the green and the rough that is just hard to predict accurately, consistently. Like I can say, oh, it's going to kick it this way, but how much? I don't know, but I can predict a lot out there on the green. It's pretty flat and it breaks right to left, left to right. So if I'm trying to make it, then I'm eliminating as much as the unpredictable stuff as possible. And I'm going with some chip shot of your choice, whatever the shot dictates. Both identical, but I feel like I have a better chance of holing it out with the wedge than the putter in this scenario. Okay, the next factor that for me determines whether or not I take putter or wedge is going to be not just distance to the hole, because sometimes I'll have this same shot in reverse and I would go wedge every time. But even though I can't get good putter like clean as I want on the back of the ball, I don't have a whole lot to go through and everything's sloping downhill working away from me. So although, yeah, I can take wedge, if you get any type of hot ball off the club face, this thing is gonna roll way past the hole and there's a ridge down there. I mean, I could have a 40-footer coming back for par. Also, if I hit the, the transition between fringe and green, that thing's gonna shoot off. You've all gone, had that happen to you. So the potential for disaster in this situation is high. You see that? That was a little bit hot off the club face and there's a ridge right there. Okay, I got lucky. So whatever, 15 feet coming back. And that's what we want to avoid. So when I have this downhill, super fast situation, even though I'm in the rough a little bit, I'm going putter every time because I don't want great disaster here. Almost made birdie. I just want the best potential for par, and I'm not trying to make that one, but I'm trying to avoid the other one. So just because you're in the rough and a short shot and you want to clear stuff doesn't necessarily mean wedge. In this scenario, I would go putter every time if things are working away from you, okay? If it was uphill, I would chip that and try to make it every time. By the way, I'm out at Atlanta National Golf Course here in North Georgia. Club Corp family of golf courses. Club Corp has memberships for courses around the country. What's cool is wherever you're a member of a Club Corp course, you could play all the other courses in the whole world. So, something to check out. Link in the video description below for that. It's a fun, tricky hole here. It's a beautiful course. Awesome PB dye design. Not Pete dye, PB dye, sun. Great track. Okay, the next piece of the puzzle is going to be distance to the hole. Again, I have a lie that can go either direction, and but I have 40, 50 feet to the hole. So a lot of times people struggle when they have to putt that far. They start shutting down the putter face and doing a bunch of weird stuff. So if that's you, then I would highly suggest you don't go putter here, because it's going to encourage you to do some things that you might not do very well. So take that out. In that scenario, then I would go with some type of iron to chip with, okay? And so whatever, again, the shot dictates, distance to the hole is gonna play a huge factor in what you decide. If you're good with those super long putts, then this is not a bad option. But if you struggle here, you're gonna struggle here. And then I would go with this for the longer shots. All right, the final factor for me is gonna be dictated on the lie. If I'm in like a bare spot like this, kind of sandy, hard bottom, man, that's gonna be a tricky wedge shot. That's gonna be really challenging to just be consistent. So even though let's say I wanna chip it in, that gets eliminated, just dictated based on the lie. So now I go from, okay, this is risky, high risk, really high risk here, because you can really easily just chunk it just like that. So I'm not gonna do that, all right? In a bad lie situation, whether it's hard packed, sandy, muddy, things like that, then I go immediately, I transition from try to make it to try to avoid great disaster. And so that's gonna be putter pretty much every time, because that is gonna be better than a bad chip, even though I'm hitting those a lot too hard. Lie dictates everything in this scenario. And I would much rather have a long putt than the same exact chip again that I just flubbed. Way better situation there. So that's the difference between putter and wedge. Hope you liked the video. For more tips, click over here. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. See you in the next video.